Abusian for native for a year na a year akufa do ta can say me say so henna process in your da go to court. Process in your da go to court. A phenomenon demonstration be the bow in no or in the uncle court because near my warrior no I quite say like well maybe a court no first no kayen kasa kwampo no do court that parliament koso kwampo no the asama ko do court that now course will live within 48 hours near the day yeah the data every night about pointing. So why are you stressing yourself doing demonstration don't say bo be any near the info so be any the or so I go for as go to court say no NPP charges back 5 there is some bad one thing. Now, I must say that a year suit a case nom the buy and the same people for the buy no. Yes, I be any. Now, I'm really against a near mom the buy a suit case on the bar over a chief at Torkono suspension. A quack we had the move ye 5 judges on me NPP for. As I go for the compare appointee B. Now, go for appointee B. Omunya NPP for is almost a cheat at Torkono. And so I'm making Solomon and I the Ababointing as for a year along with the Martin group on the Ababointing. I can't say me to say I know she pa. I say, isn't that concern say a year 5 judges on me NPP for on my ruling against NPP suit nom the ban. Kidding me say, oh, I mean before a year I could find a nickel for more put a appoint someone the incommoding. Go making me my chief justice kakra. Is answer chief justice Torkono. Kwa go fa so by company been many nti. Na within no. Omo mpe chief justice bi mo nti. Omo yeden, omo ruling against a year NPP suit no meden. The ba a year lawyer sefo a yeden. E the ba wani ade ate. Kam ni nko ti Solomon e ba near the nkomatwana na to so.
And that was why they attended or they were embarked on the demonstration. I mean, Roland, one thing we are all missing is that those that petitioned, have they addressed our minds to this fact? And my mind was taken back to the petitioners yesterday night. Something that was striking.
You mean the individual?
The individual. Are they members really of the NDC or they are Ghanaians who have a stake in this country that believes that something wrong has happened and that has to be dealt with?
So why should that be important?
It's so key. Because you take someone like Daniel Ofori. Maybe many Ghanaians do not know his background. But he's one of the richest or wealthiest people in this country. Okay, you think we must listen to you? Oh, that is why. So we must not listen to someone who has invested so much into this country. Then we are missing the point.
Oh, here for.
And here for him. But that is not my position. But that's what Kennedy Japan thinks. So I believe that we must give the benefit of the doubt to those that have petitioned. That they are not doing so because possibly they want the Chief Justice out, but because they feel that something untoward has happened. Now, you go to the composition of judges on the matter yesterday. Do you know that of the 5 judges that sat on the matter, all of them were appointed by presidents, NPP presidents? Are the Ghanaians aware of that?
Really?
Yes. So all of them.
Justice appointed by an MPP, that's President Akufo-Addo.
Justice Bafu Boni was appointed by President Akufo.
Yes, I remember.
Justice Henrietta Mensah Bonsu by Nana Akufo-Addo. Justice Yoni Kolinde by Nana Akufo-Addo. Justice Amadu Tanko by Nana Akufo-Addo. And Justice Ernest Gau by Nana Akufo-Addo.
What's your point with this?
So the point,
what have the judges done to you that you're pointing
so
about?
If the judges really sees this enterprise as purely political, and these judges were appointed by NPP presidents, it means, in the framework of things, their allegiance must be with the NPP. And so the decision must be to protect a Chief Justice that was, as well put, appointed by a president of NPP. That is Nana Akufo-Addo. But here they were looking strictly according to the law. And what does the law say? What Ekoesefa sent to court had already been dealt with. His first application was that there has to be a declaration that the processes that were being taken by President John Mahama was not following due process because the petition had not been sent or given to the Chief Justice. I wondered how he got to know that the petition had not been given to the Chief Justice when he visited as if himself was not part or he had not been petitioned. It means there had been a conversation between himself and the embattled Chief Justice. I have said time with that number that if I were the one advising the Chief Justice, I would have followed the president of Abe Fortas when he realized that, hey, things could go other way, so I'm resigning to restore the status quo. Yes, she has a constitutional right to fight. I believe that the hula baloo has become necessary because the issues at play, the processes are not open enough. And that is why I agree with my brother that there has to be constitutional review. There has to be amendment to our constitution, open to the public. I mean, whom are we showing?
You mean the in-camera sitting?
It's not necessary. By now, what we must be demanding as the people of this country is what threshold did the prima facie case meet? They didn't meet. You know, the prima facie case is a legal process. So the Council of State, together with the presidency, should be publishing to us the framework in coming to that determination. But that is missing in all the arguments. So going forward, and it is not the fault of the president, neither is it the fault of the Council of State that it's not published, because it is not contained in our constitution. And so going forward, the Constitutional Review Committee must be taking a critical look at all these things. And I also disagree that people say it should be difficult to remove a Chief Justice. Is it difficult to appoint a Chief Justice? If it is not difficult to appoint a Chief Justice, why must it be difficult to remove a Chief Justice?
I don't understand.
The truth of the matter is that anybody who is put in a position, it must be easy to put a person in a position, and it must be so easy to remove the person if the person is not behaving. If it was going to be difficult, then we can have a recalcitrant Chief Justice, knowing very well that it's very difficult to remove him or her per the constitution that have gone before that petition. There are 21 allegations of misbehavior. I believe we have to go into it. I am not saying that...
Look into the merits?
Exactly. I'm not saying that at the end of the day, these 21 issues are true or not. But these are allegations that must be interrogated. He again raises 4 issues of what? Incompetence. Are they really... Has the Constitution even outlined what constitutes incompetence and also misbehavior? All these things must be looked at in shaping our democracy. So we cannot just throw it out. But I believe that if I were the one advising the Chief Justice, I would tell the Chief Justice to, at this stage, resign, so that the judiciary will have its peace and we move on.
Should have resigned? What do you mean by that?
No. I mean, come on. I don't know where he's getting his facts that she will not survive it. But from where I sit, at the end of this process, having gone through all this, will she have the gravitas to still be at post to work?
I don't understand.
At the end of the day,
what do you mean would she have the gravitas?
Already.
Because of the matters that have been
raised.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, and the way and manner we have politicized the issue. If she is now the Chief Justice, today, political parties from our side, Professor Ito's party would think that, hey, she is the enemy of the state. If she is there, the NPP feels that, hey, we have one of our own there. So for me, in order to balance the equations, she must resign and negotiate it. It is not too late. The last time I was saying...
You should resign and negotiate?
Not negotiate it. There has to be that avenue. And this government must also have an open arm policy to allow her to negotiate her exit so that we can move on as a country. Rather than this hula baloo, back and forth, everyone is throwing the jabs. If you don't take care, now people are going to dig matters that are not even related to this whole petition, just to come and muddy the waters and destroy the woman.
Okay, so what...
Appoint a committee consisting of 2 justices of the Supreme Court, one of whom shall be appointed chairman by the president, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers. So, I mean, listening to this clearly, the President Mahama was simply discharging a constitutional right.
Others say he was...
Because I don't see any free fancy in this or any abuse of power in this, because individual Ghanaians actually petition the president as required by the law or by the constitution, and he's acting on that. just as Ṇān Addo said, they are just what a conveying what belt. So if President is acting constitutionally, and my colleague is trying to say that there's a political tune to this, for me, all we know is that the President is discharging his rightful duty.
Yes.
Yes, the good news for my brother, or my learned friend, is that he was in this country when Charles was removed. I've never heard him speaking against the process. This is the first time hearing from him.
He's not saying he's against the removal of Ṇān Uit. No, you don't.
No, he said it was political.
I was in the country, sorry.
You was in the country? Okay. But
No, it's okay.
But I have...
His excuse that he's not in the country.
No, yeah, but I will come to him. We have very genuine guys outside there, like Azar. Azar is not always in this country. But he's in the US, and he fly things down when he's not happy about it. So that is no excuse at all. So I just want to remind my learned friend and to make a point that, you know, when it comes to constitutional matters, let's allow the law to work. Because I remember under Ṇān Addo's rule, they always tell you, if you're not happy about something, just go to court. I would not...
That if you're not happy, go to court.
Go to court. That is, if they have done something there, you're not happy, go to court. You know, if you remember, it was a slogan during Ṇān Addo's time. Any later thing they do, you talk about, they say go to court. And I'm happy they have gone to court and they are back to the house now. The good news to me is that the president is not acting or abusing his power. You and I, if you read the Constitution, it's very clear. He was simply what? Discharging his constitutional duty. And in addition to that, what I see clearly in this is that we should allow due processes to be followed. Let's not preempt decisions of the courts. Because the committee that is being set up, they are actually constitutionally mandated to deliver on that assignment. So if we begin to say that it is a done deal, that the Chief Justice, the old one, is gone, then maybe our brother is privy to something that I don't know, because I know the committee is still doing their work. And if you look at the Constitution, it's very clear that even this process should be in camera. It's not an open thing. That is the same clause 6. So if we already have members of the Supreme Court who are actually part of this process, and in fact, one of them have to be made the chairman of that committee, then he's simply telling me that he didn't believe in the Constitution of Ghana or the judiciary anymore. Because this process is not given to anybody on the street to do. The chairman of that process is one of the members of the Supreme Court, the justices. So for me, let's give some credence to the process for now. Let's not preempt, because the moment you begin to preempt the process, we also are attracting, sorry to say, there are others who might not be learned like him, and they might want to act on his decisions or his statements. And to foresay or to say that it's a done deal, already the tensions are already rising, and you see the demonstration relating to the removal of Chief Justice. And the fact of the matter is that the very people who are actually chasing this and doing demonstration, majority of them are from the opposition, the main opposition, that's the NPP.
What's your point with that?
The point is that...
It's their right to demonstrate.
It is their right to demonstrate. But we have a political party who always make all of us believe strongly that they believe in the rule of law. If they indeed believe in the rule of law, the woman is not yet sacked. It's a process, it's a rule. The same law is the one that allowed this process to go on. Is that not it? So where are they on the street demonstrating?
Concentrate on politics.
We've done is also bring in a distinguished legal practitioner and then law school administrator, former director of the Ghana School of Law, and also currently also is one of the leading founders for Mount Crest University, and they are one of the leading law faculties in Ghana at the moment. And Mr. Kweku Ansasai, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother.
Okay, great.
How are you?
Yes, I've also heard you speak sparingly on varied forums on the subject. Now, following the dismissal of that case yesterday, if you have to do a lot of observation and opinion sharing on what transpired, what would you say in relation to whether, well, within the period of the proceedings, the ruling that was made, whether the acting Chief Justice should still be made to sit on this case as the presiding lead, so to speak, just because the argument from Godfrey Dame, etc., was that he could be an end beneficiary, so to speak, if we should have the suspended Chief Justice removed from office. What would you have to say on such vexed matters?
Thank you very much. Substantive application. So let's deal with the first one. as the inclusion of the acting CJ on the panel. Now, the 5 justices who sat on the application yesterday unanimously rejected the objection. They overruled it. And therefore, as far as that issue is concerned, my view, my assessment is that all 5 in returning the unanimous verdict would have determined in their own judicial eyes whether the acting Chief Justice, whether it was appropriate for the acting Chief Justice, to sit with them. By returning a 5-0 verdict, as far as they were concerned, in their judicial eyes, there was nothing wrong with the Chief Justice, the acting Chief Justice, being one of them. So they determined it, and it followed precedent because all previous cases, have shown that our justices on the Supreme Court so that we are one and the same person, and therefore when it comes to these issues of excluding the head, their view is that the head is their head, and they need, sometimes the considered opinion or view or direction of the head. And therefore, on this matter, since all 5 of them agree that the acting Chief Justice, could sit, there was nothing inappropriate, as far as they were concerned. So it has put, the doubt to rest. Now, and it accords with the basic principle of justice that like cases should be treated alike, and different cases treated differently. That's, what I gleaned from the unanimous verdict of the 5 justices. Now, returning to the 3-2 decision, it was split. And again, it is a recognition of the possibility that the issue is a delicate one, which requires a delicate handling. It is not easy for 5 justices, to come and all unanimously agree that it should be halted or it should not be halted. Personally, I would have thought, that the application was fully, without any legal merit whatsoever. In the sense that, there is nothing, absolutely nothing in Article 146 which constitutionally enjoins.
No matter the noise that you make, the law is the law. Chief Judge Torkono and the cancer asem no. Akofo also say when not possessing your da at the court. Inti afanyo markings. Yes, already not possessing your da. Akofo say then for court because process na mko fa fem no kwampono. Sebi si munum process na mko fa some go demonstration ya de. Yetene da ben BBC or Parliament ko abeti my demonstration. Untimi ngo ye because no don the court Supreme Court. It sounds when him say my man or no, and it's why chief of a year Supreme Court in tea. When him say the on be the amount the BBN why they know what I'm called, but only demonstration ain't here speak up and buy me and I say only demonstration ain't here the Parliament bedding ebe. Now also it sounds say my many for not serious prosecution because of any jail and because of another imprisonment where they because into usru. Say Anshan also had on one came because is a bo ECG containers are on wedding boom ye patches and answer for I know that they say no I'm for a pre omiti sending by your meet my ring. I sustain a Chief Justice Torkono. In the air fire there be and fire. The India Casa fine say 5 yeah you got 5. Kibeka se become NDC phobia and quaternas near the ruling against NPP. MP so montana swinging. Sorry, judges on montana as I'm not swinging 9 when you know. MPP 4. A mark of a damn crampon wide. A shocking ye bar because no one saying go for my dear. I go father and go for the mobile. Oh, getting and getting, you be really against ANDC for Tomo corner guy. Kukuti, be on the rural Supreme Court, not knowing say all the 5 judges in United a be ruling against Omo. I'm penny and buying no ruling against NPP Manukun. And mind him go as a Kesi wedding, a 2 more, just a nyas and get one. Now, those 5 judges there among what's not case in the zone. No money now, and a Supreme Court, Chief Judge Torkono and so I know with the answer. No money now, holding time is be a point to more new and being a domoko. One of my kind, a bit my boy with him kaka, a bit is a Justice Henrietta. A bones, honestly say, or Tanasam to be. So, no more can say, I am Mahamade, 80 man found this on the other day. Mammy, or a bear now, or your bar, and so any man corner was Debbie. Chief Justice Torkono was only or mean if you that a justice a judge Akufado and they appointed and I say I stand to be corrected be so an Akufo and they appointed, but according to Solomon, I say all the 5 judges in Yano or Munina NPP for. Now, NPP for the Diomede, a Supreme Court. So, he expected them committing, come back a crack at the Chief Justice Torkono. Now, so I'm for your mother shall say, obeying or betting a fee. T in an unfamiliar Grammy say the acting CJ, poor bar for Bonnie, or no quite a bay permanent CJ. Because what now, Japan, now go free or ho, and some kind of Chief Justice Torkono. Now the trap for more in the Chief Justice name a Torkono. In that all Benina, Sana or Benina, now Baba be partisan politics away. Supreme Court. And it's enough in your time case and a diamond. Now to say no, I'm out for a country a year. Chief Justice Torkono, especially Solomon say. On an go Nipa will advise Chief Justice Torkono Biano. One catches always immediately. Sending by a court nearly. A home autonomy, Jana, some no prosecution be only a prosecutor. Sikabi was a child was a tear. Offensive be a way be annoyed. One make you sure be face the law near queen him 10. Because one our mamma to make us say the law is the law, no matter how the noise you make. But a friend of markets won't corano. Omu making noise. The community say, so yes, I back to a Supreme Court. No matter how I don't know bed, Mary Simu, no matter how or right him the A cases beba. Young go say she because a qua on my no more ruling against a Attorney General a Dominica. Indeed, those are the cases I had the air course. Just say, it's answer bar for Bonnie L or a acting CJ right now, or pay justice in tea. Per se, BBC, a Supreme Court or never acquires on so a partisan policy be. On where NPP Nima Papa Kufana appointed in 2008, according to a Solomon. As never winning a course on her, Nema REIGڨ, or really a man of Campa any. Amazing was second and Akroma parties and yas and good. Coffee damage or could James society. Any milk was see because we'll be our former year a can age or coffee then. Just only the only mera. A case been out of orders anyway. Solomon had go many months upon because of NPP money and a buyer. Okay, can't meet my chair or comment such meetings to a share more down for so. Enye biashi haya for NPP.